Hello, it's been about almost just under 2 weeks since I last did a proper run. My big run was Sunday 2 weeks ago, it's now Friday, and that was my almost 6k. And then I did a dance class on Monday, and then I've not done any exercise since. So I've got myself dressed, I've just done about 20 minutes of warm up because I feel I need it. And I think I'm gonna just go for like a half-hour run. I'd like to reach at least half an hour, and we'll see if I do more or less. I've still got this stupid cold. The last week's been really awful, and today is the first day, and I don't want to jinx it, but the first morning I've woken up where I've thought it's not as bad. It's still there though, and this might make it worse, but I need to give it a go. It's been too long, and I've got another busy week ahead of me, so I don't know if I'll have a chance to run. So I'm just gonna go for it, and then, I mean, it's a Friday and it's a day off, so I'm going to run, and then I'm gonna shower and change because I also need to wash my hair, and then I'm gonna help my grandma get ready for Shabbat. So we're gonna go for it, which is also why my hair looks like a mess, but that's okay. I'm in the mood though. I do feel like I've missed running, even though, you know, I've only done it 4 times. But this top, I feel like the top really just, it works. Having the right gear makes such a difference. So it's got me in the mood. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how I feel. Let's go for it. Hello. The run was interesting. The first kilometre, I mean, I started off running and I felt pretty strong, and I felt like I needed to tell myself to slow down because I could feel I was giving it more. It was very windy, very, very windy. At the point at which I left home, it wasn't raining, although it had been raining all morning, and it did pick up again while I was running. I didn't pay attention to when though. But I did that first kilometre, felt really confident about it, felt good, and actually made it to the whole kilometre without stopping, which hasn't happened yet. Until now, I've always reached sort of 600 or 700 metres and then had to stop running and start walking. So I'm very proud that I got through 1 kilometre without stopping. I don't know, like 1 kilometre sounds like nothing. It sounds, you know, like the tiniest little bit of distance. But again, like I think I mentioned recently that, or in one of the past videos, that I used to struggle with a 400 metre run at school. Like I don't even think I'd get just past 200 metres and then stop and walk most of the rest of the way. So to have gone from doing that, like I'm envisioning where we did those runs, and to think that I ran 2.5 times around that without stopping is very impressive to me. So that was good. That felt really good. When I heard the little voice say 1 kilometre, 5 minutes something, I was like, look at me go. And also 5 minutes something, I think that's my fastest that I've ever run or done a kilometre in terms of like the pace. So I was pretty chuffed about that. And then I did a bit more running, and I think I got to just after the 2nd kilometre, and I was suddenly like, I don't think I can do any more. I think I'm gonna have to go home. And this was probably 15 minutes in, so, you know, still a long way from my half hour. And I said to myself, no, we're gonna keep going, even if it means walking for a bit longer or a bit slower. And I can actually see on my app that I did walk slower in that section and for a longer period of time. But I just kind of told myself, right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna run a little bit and then just stop when I need to stop. And that worked. And I did that basically for the rest of the run. But it felt pretty consistent. Like I did walk a lot, but it was for short bursts, and I was running more than I was walking, I think. And then I decided to come home, and I think I was still like a little bit away from home when I reached my 4 kilometre mark, and I thought, do you know what? I can make it to 5. Again, even if I need to walk more than I run, I can do a 5k, let's go for it. And it turns out that I don't have a clue how distances work. And I got home at around 4.3, I think. And so I was like, that's fine. I've only got 700 metres left. I'll just run up and down the road again, and then that should be fine. Well, I actually walked up the road and then ran back down. And then I still had something like 300 metres left, and I was like, what's going on? And I ended up doing so many circles. And also I think because I didn't know, like I didn't feel I had a good vision of the end point, and I was just turning round and round and round, I kind of felt my energy really drop at that point, and I was really forcing myself to like run for 20 seconds and then walk, and then run for 20 seconds and walk. And I think I passed the same person about 4 times, and I was just going mad. I was like, why are these last few hundred metres taking so long? But I did it in the end. I got to just over 5k. Literally as soon as I got to 5k, I was like, right, going home now. And obviously I was very much in the vicinity of home. And I think it was 37 minutes something when I hit the 5k, and it was 38 minutes when I stopped the run, although I did just walk the last bit. And I was quite tired when I got home. I could definitely feel it, but I was so impressed with myself, the fact that I haven't run for 2 weeks, and suddenly I just went up, did a run, and did a 5k. Like the fact that I could just casually do a 5k in under 40 minutes. This was faster than my last 5k. I'm just really proud of that. That feels really good. And as I say, it was windy and cold and rainy, and I think that actually helped me probably. But it just feels really cool to know I can just casually run a 5k, like just like that. Because I know there's a thing called parkrun, I think in the UK, and it's basically where you do 5k's every Saturday. Now, of course, I can never do that because Saturday is Shabbat. But it always blew my mind how people were just like, yeah, I'll just go for a run on a Saturday morning. I can just, up and go. And now that I've done 2 5k runs, I'm like, oh yeah, you can just do a 5k. And I'm glad that I didn't sort of set my initial goal as a 5k run, because I feel like I would have smashed it too early. I wouldn't have been, like if I was now training for a 5k, even if it was in November, to have done it now, I'm like, oh, where do I have to go from here? Obviously, where I have to go from here is to be able to run it consistently without stopping to walk. That's the goal. Well, the goal is the 10k, obviously, but we'll start with a 5k. I'd love to be able to run a 5k without stopping. I think that would be very impressive. Another thing I want to share that I failed to mention, I think, is that on the Monday, I did my 5k on the Sunday, and then on the Monday, I did a dance class instead of doing a run. And that day, I think it was that day, it might have been another day, but one of those days I set up or maybe it was Wednesday before I left. Anyway, it was last week, I set up an actual fundraising page and everything. So I have that linked down below. It would have been linked in my previous videos as well, but now I'm actually going to draw your attention to it. So please do donate, even if it's just a couple of pounds. That would be, just anything would be amazing. I set the goal, they recommended 175. And I set it for 250, being like, I reckon I can do that. And now I've shared it round and I'm kind of like, am I gonna be able to do that? I've still got a long time. I've still got a few months as of when I'm filming this, quite a few months. But I want more people to donate. Well, I want more money to give. It's not to me, I don't get a cent of it. In fact, I'm paying with my own time and money to do the race, and energy. So please, if you can, even just, £1 or £2, or if you can donate more, obviously, please do, but I would be very grateful. I'm so sure there was something else I wanted to say as well about today, but I really can't remember. So if it comes back to me, I will let you know. But for now, this is it. Bye. Hello, I went for a run this morning and it took a lot of motivation. I was meant to be working all day yesterday, all day today and all day Wednesday, and then it's Chag and Shabbat and all sorts of reasons why I can't run. I feel like there's something in my eye. And then my colleague asked me to swap shifts, so I ended up working a long day yesterday and having today free. So I sort of said to myself, well, I guess I ought to run because I don't think I have another day off until I go to Australia now. And obviously in theory I can run before or after work, but especially with me needing to get ready to go to Australia and the fact that I haven't packed, I think it's unlikely. And it's really rainy and wet and cloudy outside. And obviously, as I've mentioned already, I love that. But I was not feeling motivated. I was on my laptop in my bed and I just did not want to move. But eventually I was like, no, let's just go for it. Especially because I knew my grandma was going out later today now. And so I knew that I'd want to do some singing when she was out. And so it would make more sense to go run earlier before she goes out because I can do that while she's home because I've told her now. So I went, and the last time I went, whatever day it was, I did the whole first kilometre without stopping. So I was like, I just got to get that far. I don't really intend to run a 5k today, but I just want to get 1 kilometre fully running and see how far we get. That alone was a struggle to get that 1 kilometre non-stop running. I did it, but just about. Anyway, I went a slightly different route, a slightly sort of longer route to the park. And then I did far less in the park, but then I took a longer route back. And I was really struggling. I was like, I'm gonna be lucky if I get to 4k today. And again, it was short bursts of running and a lot of walking compared to recently when it's been a bit more even. But in the end, I was close to home when it was like 4.4. And I thought, again, I've just gotta do it. And again, those last few hundred meters really are longer than you think, but I just about made it. I think my total time was 37 minutes. Let's see if I can have a look. Oh, this is interesting. I did my fastest 1 kilometre. So obviously, even though I felt exhausted, that may have come as a result of running faster. I can't see exactly The whole run was 38 minutes 10, but that's including the last little stretch. Once I reached 5 kilometers, I then had to walk back home. Yeah, you can definitely see oh, my stitch also, I had such a bad stitch and it just refused to go away. The last few times I've had stitches, it's there for a while and then eventually it goes away. This time, each time I tried to run again, I just immediately felt it. So that was annoying. My average tempo was 7:36, which was the same as last time on Friday. And it looks like the 5K was almost identical in terms of how long it took me. Oh my goodness, it's a new month, it's October. Anyway, so today was a struggle, but I'm so proud of myself for fighting through and getting to 5 kilometers. And as I say, I think now the next time I'm gonna run is gonna be in much warmer weather in Australia, which, oh, I was on the phone to my parents and they were saying, oh, like, it's not going to be that bad. It's probably about the same weather here as it is there. Like, it's currently 18 degrees. And I was like, 18! And it's only going to get warmer from here. This is still their winter. Or, I suppose, going into spring now. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that update. And as I say, I don't know when I'm going to see you next. But I did it. And that counts for something. See ya! Hello, I'm going on my first run in about 2 weeks and also my first run in Australia. And it's gonna be hot. It's sunny, I've put on sunscreen, I'm doing a bit of a warm up and then I'm gonna go. I've no idea how long I'm gonna last out there because it is hot. I think it's just gone 4, so it shouldn't be peak of the day, but it's hot. Hello. I've come back from my run. I did a cool down and then I had a very quick shower, although the shower was making funny noises, so it was very quick. And then now I got into pajamas because I can, because I'm in my parents' house. It was a struggle. It was hot. It was probably my worst run so far. In fact, I wonder if I can check that. I'm very, very glad I did it, but it was tough. I mean, I think it's a double whammy of not having run for a little while and obviously the heat. Oh, it wasn't actually my worst, but it felt like my worst. And yeah, the last time I went for a run was 2 weeks ago, so I forgive myself. But I'm really glad I did it, especially because now that I've done it once, I should feel more okay about running whilst I'm here, which is good. Although that yellow thing does drive me a little bit mad. But look, I mean, I did a half-hour run, although a large percentage of it was walking today. But it doesn't matter. There are going to be ups and downs. And this wasn't my best, but I did it. I went out there with not very much motivation and I just did it. So that's good. All right, hopefully I will see you soon with my next run. Hopefully. Hello, I forgot to mention that I'm going for a run, or I went for a run now. And woo, okay, so basically I've been wanting to go for a run for the last few days because I couldn't run for a bunch of days because it was Chag and Shabbat and all that. So Sunday was the first day it wasn't Chag, but I think I had a very busy day on Sunday. So I was like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the 3 days, hopefully I can do 3 runs. Monday I knew was the biggest maybe, because I knew I might have something else on, and that something else went on a lot longer than I thought. So I didn't run on Monday, but I was like, that's okay, that can be forgiven. But then Tuesday, Tuesday, I then discovered was gonna be 30 degrees all day. I'm not running in 30-degree weather, I'm doing a winter run for a reason. And so I had to do it today because now we've again got lots of Chag and Shabbat coming up. I want to stretch, but if I stretch too much then you can't see me. I'm trying to think what stretches I can do whilst you can see me. So genius Raquel decided to go for a run at 2 in the afternoon, which is just like the perfect time to go for a run when you're in Australia. Now bear in mind, the last time I ran was, I think about 2 weeks ago now when I first got here. And that was also hot, but also then had been sort of 2 weeks until, like, since the last one. So basically I've run twice in 1 month, which is not great. And both times in hot weather. The weather today, I thought it was gonna be like 16, 17 degrees, and I went for a walk earlier and it was quite breezy, like a cold breeze. So I thought, I can handle this. I went out, there was hardly any breeze, and if there was a breeze, it was like a warm breeze. And I think it was more, in fact, let me check. I think it was probably closer to 20 degrees. That's how it felt anyway. 19. And sunny, so sunny, not a cloud in the sky, very little shade, no breeze, as I said, and it's been 2 weeks since I last ran, or maybe a bit less, but not that long, or not that short, I should say. And it was tough. It was really tough. It was less tough than the first run I did here, but it was still tough. I also realised about 1.5 kilometers in that I don't think I've drunk anything today, and I could really feel it. Between sort of not drinking enough and the heat, I was definitely feeling a little bit ill. In fact, let's drink something now. I did worry a little bit that I would have to just stop, and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to fight my way through. Again, I managed to run the whole first kilometre, which for me felt like a win, and I did it in 5.5 minutes, which I think is reasonably good actually. I just need a moment. I should have stretched first. But anyway, I ended up doing 4 kilometres in half an hour, which actually I'm pretty pleased by, considering the lack of water, the heat, the not having run that much. Like, I think that's reasonable. Oh, by the way, I think this is something I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned on here, maybe I have, I'll cut it out if I have. I mentioned that my goal for the 10-kilometre run that I'm gonna do in February is gonna be to try and get under an hour. A couple of weeks ago, I saw multiple people that I know, well, not know well, but through Instagram, saw them post 10Ks that they happen to be doing. And one of them, who is like a dance teacher, a choreographer, really fit, I think did it in 1 hour 10, I believe, or 1 hour 6. And then my other friend did it in 1 hour 10. It was one of each. And that other friend has also been running for a very long time. So seeing that has kind of crushed my confidence a little bit, that I can do better than my choreographer, dance teacher, whatever. So I think my new goal, my more realistic goal, is to try and get under the average, which I think when I looked it up was 1 hour 6. Yeah, it says 1 hour 6 is the average for women. So I think that's according to something called flit.run, and that's based on, I don't know, but I'm happy to make that my goal. So yeah, I'm really glad I did it. It's now going to be another, probably at least a week before I run again, which is a bit annoying. But I'm now going to drink some more water, have some lunch, and shower, and also do a bit more of a cool down because I don't feel I've done enough. I also didn't warm up as much today, and my legs, I feel like I felt that in my legs. And I didn't get a proper stitch like I normally do, which is good, but instead I got sort of like a less intense version of a stitch, but on both sides of my stomach, which kind of is weird, but at the same time kind of felt better because it felt more balanced. Rather than being like really in pain on one side, I felt like I was able to keep running despite that because it was lighter and more even. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that update. I will see you whenever. Bye.